And today, what we're doing is preparing our quail coop. Yes, we have quail in Glory's garden. What I wanted to do is show you what we have new in the garden. I've been talking about that I don't have animals in my garden, that I just have a garden. I don't really have a yardstead or a homestead. And I also talked about how it would be days where I don't eat meat, and I wanted to start having my own meat source. For the times that I do want to eat meat, I wanted to have my own meat source. So I've been talking it over with my husband, and he kind of agreed. He said he agreed because he knew if he said no, I probably would do it anyway. But I wouldn't have, not with these birds, because they have to be taken care of. And I knew this is something I know I can't do by myself. So I have some quail, and I'm gonna turn you all around so you can see the the coop. This is the coop, and I use my trellis as the frame. I found somebody that had equipment that could cut boards and stuff like that. Um, Equipment that I didn't have, to build this for me to make it more solid. And they built it around the frame of my trellis because that's what I wanted. It was my idea how it was going to be built. This is exactly how I wanted it. And I'll walk you around and let you see it. It is hardwood cloth to the bottom as well. As you can see, I don't know if y'all can see really good, but now that I'm walking around, they're all hovered into a circle. But I'm gonna go in there because I need to set the food tray back up. They all hovered into a circle, and usually that's what they do when they feel like it's a predator or something around. But this is how the coop is built. And it's hard cloth all the way around. I'm not gonna knock on it too hard because it'll frighten them. And this part is open in the back, but as it gets colder, I have more very thick plastic that I will be putting on that to protect them from the cold. And I also could close up some in the front and still leave some open for air. But this is how it looks all the way around. I'm so close right now. And that is the door. And we had 30 birds. One took off in flight as we was taking them out of the container that we had them in. I was saying that one took off in flight. Well, he actually was walking, and these little things could walk fast. If you ever seen the show The Road Runner, that was him yesterday, and we was out trying to get him all around the shed, and then he finally flew a little bit up over the fence between me and my neighbor, and I just didn't go after him. We was tired because we have had a long week. Because Thursday we had to travel a little ways to get the quail, and then so that was something all day preparing for them and getting a container to carry them back home in. And then the next day we was preparing for Kaylani's birthday party because her birthday was Thursday. And so Friday we was figuring out, okay, we need to get the coop built. Even though I ordered a hutch that we could put together for the quail, I'm just going to have those inside so they could go inside of those when the weather starts turning. So those will be here this week, and my husband will put those together for me, and we'll sit those in there. Those are on the ground, but I wanted them to be able to walk around and peck and scratch and do the things that I think birds are supposed to do naturally. I could have just kept them inside of the little hutch up off the ground, but I really didn't want to do that. I could ease in here without freaking them out. So if y'all could see them, how they're huddled. Right now we only have 29 of them, and they have pretty good space to walk around. But being that they know I'm out here and they can see me walking around, this is their posture. What they do, they gather together like that for protection. I don't have to worry about nothing getting in on them from the top or from the bottom. It's hard cloth all the way to the bottom. Up comes up on the sides about 2 inches. And in the doorway, we have an extra piece of wood that's in there just in case something wants to try to get in that way. Now, a fly or something like that can get in there. I will have to go in there and freshen up their bedding. It's only been 1 day so far. I think when I get too close, it gets blurry. But yeah, y'all, that's what we have going on. And these are a meat source. They're not pets, but they will be cared for respectfully because they are animals, and I'm not going to mistreat the birds or anything like that, but they are a food source for my family. They're not our pet birds or whatever. That's something the lady was asking me, and she was like, "Oh, y'all getting them for pets? So what are y'all?" And I was like, "No," because I'm thinking to myself, "Who want 30 birds for pets? That's a lot to be taken care of. 30 birds? No, mm-mm. They're not pets, but they will be taken care of properly. That's just something that I believe in doing. Just like I take care of everything else in this garden, those birds will be taken care of too." Get off. I'm hitting off of something off of my orange Turkish eggplant. Some old bug. Look like a leaf-footed bug. I'm not sure, but I just knocked him off. Kind of looked like a spider, but then I got up on it. I'm like, that's not a spider, but I would have done the same thing to the spider. Knocked them right off. But yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to come and show you guys. And I'm just watching them. I have some little tree limbs in there because they like to hide and peck. They like to chew on leaves. They will eat a little fruit if you put it in there. And you always have some that seem like they're going to come to the door. So before you open it, you need to look in to see exactly where they're at. And they do like to peck. So I think I'm going to get them one of those little food blocks. Is they have a little food block for quails that they could just peck at. It's the little firm squares that they could just peck at because it seems like they like to peck. So I definitely think they're happy in here. They're not squawking and flapping around like they was when we first put them in, but they're eating, they're drinking water, they're going into the little hide places that I put in for them. They're pecking, they're scratching, which is what I want to see them do to let me know that they're comfortable in here. And and I'm gonna get a little sandbox, a little small sandbox, because they like to do little dust baths that help keep the mites and fleas and stuff off of them, because this is outside, so. And the ground, it is just regular dirt beneath them, so if they decide to scratch and peck through the little holes of the the hard cloth, that'll be fine because they're just pecking at the dirt. But that hard cloth is there for their protection underneath and on top, so nothing could dig in, because we do have possums in this yard. Sometimes at night, I have seen them, and we do have a privacy fence up, but things that could crawl and could crawl up, they do that. So, and I know raccoons and stuff will come. I know rats will come, and even though I haven't been having a problem with a possum or a raccoon, once something knows that birds are in this yard, they'll be coming. We have a cat to come through. The cat was walking around the coop last night because my husband came out here and kind of ran him out the yard. We usually don't chase him off, but because he was just squaring up over at the coop, he just had him scat out of the yard. But that's it, guys. That's what's going on in Glory's garden today. We finally got those quails in, got the coop built. The guy did come and do it all in one day yesterday, and then after Kaylani's party, the pinata and the birthday cake and the fun with her cousins and stuff, she we came and got these quails situated because it started drizzling yesterday. It did rain Friday, but we kept them in the little pen that we had them in, and we upped our umbrella that we have out here to block us from the sun, and we made a little fake shelter for them, and that worked out really well because I was like, it's raining so hard, but they didn't even get wet. The way I propped it up and did it worked out just fine until we could get this thing built and get them in there where they, could stay safe and dry as well and cool. Got a lot of, it's a windy day today because it's kind of sunny, but still yet cloudy. But it's a little breeze going on as well. And the bees are still in the yard. I'm watching bees just fly all around. They're still out here. But that's what we're doing in the garden today, getting those quails situated. And I've already walked the garden to see what else was going on. I'm holding you on a small tripod, one of my very first tripods. So you probably feel like you're very close to my face, and you are, because you're only an arm length away. I'm trying not to hold it too close. Let me see if I can prop you up. I like this little tripod because the legs are rubber, and you can prop it up on things. You can hang it because you could take the legs and bend them. They're bendable, and you could just hang your camera, and you could do work while you do that. So right now I have you sitting on top of my big water barrel, so you won't be so close to my face. But yeah, I just wanted to come and share with you all that we decided to try raising quail for eggs, for a meat source. For our family, we're going to give it a go. And these are wild birds. If for some reason this does not work, we can set them free. But I'm praying that it works. My husband has handled them more than I have. Because the box that they came in, I took my little container. I'm going to show you the container that I took. Hold on. So I took my little container, and I had holes all, if you can see this, it's holes all the way through it. Holes all the way through this. And I just thought, oh, this is the perfect thing because now they make a snap on each side and at each end. So 4 snaps. I was like, oh, this gotta work. It'll be real good. And I put holes all in here, all around the side, on both sides, on each end. And I thought that'd be enough because I knew the ride where we were going to was going to be probably 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes with traffic. And I had cardboard. I had cardboard to the bottom, and I had just natural stuff in it like leaves and stuff like that, so they'll feel more familiar with the outside. And so when I got there, the guy that runs Baxley Quail Farm, that was the name of it, in Ludowici, Georgia, which is like 40 minutes from me. And he was like, oh, yeah, that'll be all right. That'll be all right. But I had to go to the store to get cash because they don't do debit or anything like that. They do cash and checks or something like that. And I don't even do checks now that I have debit card, cash app, all that kind of stuff. So when I came back, he said, well, I thought they was going to be too hot. He said, I put them in there and they really seemed like they was panting or whatever. So I put them in the box. He said, you don't owe me nothing for the box because usually they charge $8 for the box. But the way the box was, it was a snap box. It folded and it didn't open from the top because I was thinking, oh, when we get home, we could just open this from the top, take one out at a time, put it in the little coop that we had, the little makeshift coop that we had. And the first night they did stay in the house. Was it smelly? Yeah, it was. But I wasn't prepared to just throw them outside because I don't know, I was just too nervous, so I didn't do it. I'd rather put up with the smell because the smell I could get rid of, which I did when everybody came the next day for the party. Nobody thought nothing about it. and they didn't even know I had quail until we came outside to break the pinata. Then my family saw the quail, and they was like, "Oh my God, you got what? 30 birds?" They was like, "Oh my God," you know. And so he had them in this box, but the box opened from the side, and the little side was probably about as wide as maybe about this wide, and you had to unsnap it on to unhinge the little box or whatever and stick your hand in there. You didn't know what you was reaching for because you couldn't see. You just had to stick your hand in from the side to reach in there. That was a whole ordeal. One bird got loose in the house and everything went behind the little china cabinet or whatever. So good thing we have little things on our furniture is easily you can slide it out the way because we have hardwood floors throughout the house. So it was easy to slide that out the way. Of course, my husband went and got it. He actually took each bird out of the box, and that box was so stank, y'all. But I thank God for my husband. I really, really do, because I was like, I could not have done this without you. My daughter was here. She was helping. But when the bird got loose, all we was doing was ducking, because he walked on out the box and then he just took off flying through the house. So, and he flew over to a little flower that I have on top of the china cabinet and hid up in that. Then after a while, he went on down behind the china cabinet between the wall and the cabinet, and he stayed there. So he wasn't just flying through the whole house, but my husband was able to get him easily. But yeah, that box, I was like, that is not the ideal box to have a bird in, because you have to stick your hand in through the side. You can't tell what you're reaching for. Versus if you could open the top up some, you could see a bird, grab him, put him out. All you need to do is just hold him so he's not flapping. But when you're sticking your hand in through the side of a box, you don't know if you got the bird head, his legs, his tail, or whatever. So the box did have holes in it all the way around. So what I did was look through the top of the box and tell my husband, it's one here, it's one there. You could get this one, you could get that one. And that's how we got the birds out of the box into the little makeshift container. I put them back in the same container, and I just took some hard cloth, we cut it, and we just laid it on top. And I just found some big, thick books that we have in the house and put one on each end, so if they decide to get flighty, they couldn't lift the thing up. So, and we kept them in the house like that overnight. Then we brought them out the next morning. And because I was like, okay, I can't take them just being in the house. The one, they taking up a whole lot of space, because we had both. Well, I had two containers like the one I just showed you. And so we had just brought them outside. When the sun started coming up, we just put up our sun umbrella and made sure that they stayed cool, fresh in their water and their feed, and they were fine. They were fine. I was concerned after it started raining so hard, because it rained all day Friday here. Today is Sunday. I'm not sure what the date is, as most times I know it's Sunday. Sunday the 28th. So we got them Thursday the 25th, which was on Kaylani's birthday. So she was so excited. Oh, we got birds. We got birds. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's the best birthday ever. So she enjoyed it and the ride. So, but yeah, guys, that's it. We have quails in the garden. Y'all can take this little journey with me on having my own source of meat now. And I don't know when we would start calling a bird or harvesting a bird, whatever you want to call it. These birds are 12 weeks old already. I gotten full grown birds, so I didn't have to worry about a brooder or incubator or anything like that. But I will be. I'm sorry, I'm looking at an okra. I will be, doing the eggs in an incubator, brooder, or whatever. So if this is something that we want to do, or that I want to continue to do, we could hatch our own eggs. So you don't have to keep going back purchasing quail, So that is something that I am going to get into. These are, I think I said, these are bob white quail. We do have, of course, we have males and females in there. I haven't really been able to tell them apart, like how many males I have, how many females I have. Supposedly the male have a more white head than the female, and they kind of have lines. So I've been doing a lot of research looking at videos way before I even went and got these birds, watching a lot of videos, reading, searching a lot of things. Because at that time I didn't know it was going to be Bob White. I didn't know what breed that they had there. They also had pheasants there, but they were already kind of big birds, but still yet considered a baby. I didn't want any pheasants because I'm like, no, I didn't want to deal with that. But when I say this was a quail farm, that's exactly what it was. I've only seen things like this on TV and in documentaries. These huge tunnels with birds. Yeah, that's how this place was. The area was clean. I can say that the area was clean. He did show me around because he was proud of his farm. So he did show me into the pheasants cage, where they keep all the pheasants. And in that one area, it was 4,000 pheasants in that one area. And when I called and asked about the quail, because I had to call around to places to find out about the quail, if they, I looked up places, then I called. And one lady, she said, no, I don't have any quail. I'm having a hard time getting them. I only have 2 turkeys. And I think she's using those for Thanksgiving. And so she did talk to me about quail, what to expect, how much I should pay per bird, and how much I shouldn't pay if they went over that price. She was like, don't get them because that's a ripoff. And so the price that she said I should pay at Baxter Quail Farm, that is what they was charging. So I kind of like, I was glad I talked to her. And even though she didn't have any birds and I didn't make a purchase from her, she was telling me I could call her anytime. I could text her anytime if I need help, or, if I need help or had questions, she would be willing to help me through it, even though she, didn't have any quail for me to purchase from her. But yeah, the Baxter Farm, I kind of lost my train of thought, but the Baxter Farm, the way they kept it up, it was neat. He was proud of what he's doing, and I do think the birds was well cared for from what I could see inside the pheasant coop. It was huge, way bigger than my patio. It was huge, and he said he had 4,000 birds. Oh, this is what I was saying till I started talking about the other lady. When I was calling around asking about quail, I called the first lady. She said, "Oh, I only have 2 turkeys," and then I called Baxter Farm. And matter of fact, my coworkers, I was telling them, I think I want to get quail. I think I want to have my own meat. They helped me research different places that was nearby that had, sold quails. And so that's how I got the Baxter Quail Farm. And so when I called them, I was telling them what I was looking for, what I wanted to do, about how many I wanted to purchase or whatever. And then I asked him, I say, well, I'm not coming for another 2 weeks because I still wanted to think about it. Even though I've been thinking about it for probably a couple of months now, I still wanted to think about it and have time to prepare a decent place for them to be when I got them, because I knew they wasn't going to be kept in my house. And so I said, do you think you would still have some? And he was like, ma'am, I have 60,000 quail birds. I'll still have some when you get here next week. Because I guess they're constantly, hatching the eggs and stuff. So they keep it going. And so that's how we got here to this point now. So we're just going to take this journey, see how it goes, and hopefully everything goes well. We will have them for a while. I think by them being moved so much, they're probably not going to be laying eggs. And plus, from my understanding, they do better in the summer, spring, or when it's long days, when it's daylight longer time in time. So we're approaching fall. Time will be changing. It'll be getting darker early. I won't be. I know, like some people I've seen in videos where they keep them in a garage and they keep lights on them all the time. I'm not going to do that. They're going to be kept outside. If only light I will have is a heating lamp if it should get that cold. But by them being full grown birds, and and their feathers do protect them, and they will have a hutch in there, that's something I probably won't have to do, but I plan on doing it just because I know last winter we end up having snow, which is something we don't really get in zone 9B in Georgia. So, but we had snow last year winter, so I don't know what to expect. I just keep everything in mind and try to plan likewise. You know, I'm not taking the weather for granted. You know, like we still in hurricane season here. So, haven't had a hurricane, praise God. But you know, just in case we get a tropical storm or something like that, I'm prepared to, you know, make sure that they're protected over there. But that's it, guys. I know I keep saying that, then I think of something else that I want to tell you. But I think that's it. It's getting cloudy, so I'm going to be going in. I'm going to end this video. It's already 28 minutes at this point. I'm sure I'm going to cut a lot of what I was saying because plenty of it was me rambling on. But that's it, y'all. I'm excited about the journey with these quail. There's to see how it goes, to see what I'm learning as I go, you know, and I'm asking y'all to take this journey with me. If you are raising quail successfully, or you know somebody, or you know something about quail and you have a suggestion, you know, leave that for me down below, and I would appreciate that. So if this is your first time on this channel, welcome. Thank you for being here. And if you're a current subscriber, thank you for coming back again. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you all on the next one.